Hello everyone, Ziausan this side. So today hand we are dealing with a topic called as structure of contractile proteins. So do remember one thing that here we will be dealing with the actin and the myosin. So starting with the first thing first called as actin. So basically actin is also called as thin filament. We already know that. Okay, actin is called as thin filament which is made up of two F units. Okay, we'll be calling it as F actin. So basically like somehow this will be one F actin, this will be the other F actin. Okay, go through, we'll be going through the diagram as well. So here there are two filamentous actins which are helically bound to each other, and here each F actin is again made up of monomeric subunits called as G actin. Somehow like I'll be drawing again in this direction. Okay, and here again the other one in this. Okay, so somehow like I'm not very good at diagrams at all. So this is my G. Okay, go through. So again each F actin is a polymer of monomeric G actin, and the G means globular. G means globular actin. Okay, go through. Now the two filament of another protein is also present. It is also helically wounded onto the F actins. It is called as tropomyosin. Is called as tropomyosin. Please do remember the case that the tropomyosin is present on the actin. As the name is suggesting, we may be confused that the tropomyosin is present on the myosin, but it's not the case. Rather, the tropomyosin is present on the actin. Yes, the tropomyosin do have the binding site for the myosin, but it doesn't mean that the tropomyosin is present on the myosin. It's present on the actin. Okay, go through. And it also run close to the F actin throughout its length. We'll be going through the diagrammatic representation. Now, another complex protein which is called as troponin. The third protein in the actin is troponin, is distributed at regular intervals on the tropomyosin. So somehow like something like I'll be going through the diagram directly now. Here, in the resting state, a subunit of troponin masks the active binding site for the myosin on the actin filament. So here this is my actin. Okay, so these small subunits are called as F actin. Okay, so the lines will be called as F actin, and the singular subunit will be called as here, it will be called as G actin. It will be called as G actin. So the two filaments of F actin. Okay, two filaments of F actin we have. Another, we have tropomyosin which is running parallel to the actin, and we have two filaments of tropomyosin as well, and another third protein which is present at a regular intervals on the tropomyosin is called as troponin. So basically actin is made up of three main proteins called as F actin, tropomyosin and the troponin. Okay, deal with. Now going through the myosin. So here basically each myosin, which is also called as a thick filament, each myosin is a thick filament which is also polymerized protein just like the actin. So the actin is a polymer of a lot of monomer units, and that monomer unit is called as G actin. Okay, so again going for the actin, F actin is made up of many G actin. Correct? And the meaning of F actin is filamentous actin, whereas the meaning of G actin will be the globular actin. Okay, go through. Again in the same fashion, the myosin is also a polymer of different subunits called as the meromyosin. Okay, the monomeric proteins which are comprising the myosin are called as meromyosin. Please do remember the word mer. Whenever the word mer is coming, do remember one thing, that this is nothing but a chain. Okay, like the polymer, monomer, a dimer, trimer, tetramer, something like that. So the meromyosin are constituting the thick filament. The thin filament is actin, and the thick filament will be the myosin. So basically the meromyosin will be constituting about the myosin. Here each meromyosin has two important parts. Do remember one case, that it is not present in the actin, but it does shows in the myosin, that there are two phases in the myosin. The first is called the globular head with a short arm, and the second portion is called as a tail. The first portion is called as a globular head with a short arm, and the second portion is called as a tail. So the former being called as a heavy meromyosin, and the latter is called as the light meromyosin. Now I am going through the diagram. So here we are having the myosin structure. So this portion is called as a head, correct? So we will be calling it as HMM. And what does this HMM means? This HMM is responsible for the heavy meromyosin. This is responsible for the heavy meromyosin. Whereas the tail is made up of LMM. LMM. And what does this LMM means? This is none other than light meromyosin. This is light meromyosin. Now again going back. So here the head portion is made up of heavy meromyosin, whereas the tail portion is made up of light meromyosin. Okay. Again going for the HMM component, that is the head and the short arm. The head and the short arm, which are projecting outward at a regular distance. Okay. Which are projecting outward at a regular distance and angle from each other from the surface of polymerized myosin. This is known as cross arm. So basically again going back, here we have the head here and we have the short arm here. And again, if I am going through complete structure, I'll be calling it as cross arm. So I can write it down in something like this fashion: head plus short arm. Head plus short arm. If you are preparing for a competitive, do remember, head plus short arm will be comprising cross arm of myosin. Head plus short arm will be comprising cross arm of myosin. And do remember the case that this cross arm is formed only when the myosin is projecting outward. The head and the short arm are projecting outward, then only the cross arm will be formed properly. Okay. Now the globular head is an active ATPase enzyme as a binding site for the ATP and active sites for actin. So here we are having the globular head as well. So the first two, these two are responsible for the actin binding site. Okay. And the next, these two are responsible for the ATP binding site. Okay. Do remember the case that the exact same place from where the troponin is residing, the troponin is staying, the calcium will be coming from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Okay. The calcium will be coming from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. And what will happen then? Then what will happen? This troponin will be released. This troponin will be released by means of calcium. Okay. Go through. Now what will happen? This place is empty now. And the actin binding site will be coming. The actin binding site of the myosin will be coming here. And it will be binding on the exact opposite portion of the meromyosin. Of the tropomyosin. The exact opposite portion of the tropomyosin means like this portion, and this portion. Do remember the case. Okay. Now, because whenever the troponin is removed from the meromyosin, whenever the troponin is removed from the tropomyosin will flip now, and the exposed portion will be having the binding site for the myosin, specifically the head portion, HMM. Okay. Go through. Now whenever our myosin has been bounded to that place, now the ATP will be coming to remove that. That is the reason we are having the ATP binding site as well. So here this is an active process, so we'll be going through that. The ATP will be broken down into ADP and orthophosphate. ADP and orthophosphate. This is the complete whole procedure. Basically we have literally gone for the structure of the contractile protein only, and then we'll be going for the mechanism of the contraction of the muscle. Okay. Hopefully this lecture has been beneficial for you guys. Thank you very much. If you do have any kind of questions, you can ask me there in the comment section. Thank you.